We need class 1 to start entering the ring. That's class 1, start entering the ring. Class 2, please get to the holding area. That's class 2, please get to the holding area. Today's judge is Glenn Martin. He was born and raised in Mason, Texas, with ranching roots stretching back to the 1860s. Glenn has lived and breathed this lifestyle his entire life. After sharpening his skills at Texas A&M as a standout collegiate meats and livestock evaluator, he went on to build one of the most respected reputations in the livestock world. The Martin family raises elite show goats, cattle, and Dorper sheep, and his four daughters have racked up 60 plus grand and reserve wins at major shows nationwide. Glenn has judged in 25 states, including big stages like Fort Worth, Houston, Denver, Louisville, and the American Royal. But what truly sets him apart is his heart for the youth. Through clinics, seminars, and Bracing for Success camps, he pours countless hours into helping kids grow, learn, and become their best in and out of the show ring. We're glad he's here, proud to have his expertise, and excited for what he'll bring to this year's show.
Well, pleasure to be here this afternoon, working with your young people, evaluating your livestock here, and a good place to start and a good place to be raising kids and using the livestock as a tool here. I'm going to enjoy myself. Look forward to coming over. When I got asked last year, I checked the schedule and said yes, I'd love to. And uh, working with young people, evaluating livestock, two things real high on my list of priorities and things I enjoy. We've got a nice class here in your American heifers. I opt to start with the red Brahman heifer here out front, the one for me that hits the surface just stouter and bigger footed, bigger and bolder in terms of her center body and her spring to her rib cage. I'd like to strengthen her right behind her blade and her hump there as she comes straight back. One that's excessively long hipped, and I think by comparison just comes significantly wider, both in her chest floor and in her hip and pin set as we get on either end of their skeleton. The one that comes two in class, young man has one that's a little flatter backed and a little leveler, and I like that about her. And I think there's some advantage, obviously, some difference in breed type in terms of her neck carriage and where it comes out the top side of her shoulder. She's really clean in her throat latch. She's good in terms of her line up top. Comparatively, she's a notch smaller in terms of her foot size. Both ends of her skeleton, including her cage, she comes flatter right there in the center of her skeleton. Wants to wedge a bit in her hip as you stand behind her from hooks to pins. I like to make her a shot stouter to go with her good looks, to go with her levelness of top line. I'd like to drop her body, give her a shot more spring of rib. Two high quality animals here. Put your hands together if you're ringside for these exhibitors.
In Class 1 American heifers, first is Lily Vote, second is Cole Young. I need Class 2 American heifers to the holding area. That was Class 2 American heifers to the holding area.
Well, young lady's getting this single entry heifer she brought in the ring. This gray heifer set and kind of working for here. Doing a very nice job of getting that one wrangled in and just getting her to stand. And I can tell you from just two class observation, flies might be a problem. And if you got a little fly spray in the back, probably wouldn't hurt to do that to some of those cattle that are coming ahead. Talk about this gray Brahman heifer, very, very high quality female, one that hits you hard when you talk about width, rib cage, body type, and mass. She's got a lot of things working for her. I love her in terms of her forerib design. She comes there, blade back, really strong in her top line, long hipped kind of female, although pretty moderate in her size in relation to the world of gray Brahmins. I think it works to her advantage. Here we've got one that's extra in terms of her width, her squareness of hips, exceptional. I want to change her up. I want to tuck her chest up into her just a bit. Could work on her hump placement a little and probably make her a shot longer, blade forward, just in terms of sheer length of neck. But a very high quality single entry female this young lady brings. Congratulate her if you would.
In Class 2 American heifers, first was Lily Vote.
As we bring this trio back out of their respective classes, certainly a trio of good cattle that came in your American show today. Red one up front wins the first class, bigger and more extended in terms of type and kind, the longer body kind of a female. Could be a shot stronger right there behind her blade. In terms of her top line, one that stands on a really big foot. She's square in terms of her width underneath. I like her chest floor. I like her balance from the side, just in terms of body type, length of spine, and length of front. That one's sound. She's stout down low. She's high quality. Not as good in terms of her levelness, hooks to pins, as the one that wins Class 2. Gray heifer here out of Class 2. Really big body, kind of a female. Comes a little leveler from hooks to pins. One that's a shot more moderate in terms of her framework, her growth curve, and her outline, and still I think it works to her advantage. You step in behind that female, boy, she's got an incredible hip placement in her, very good in terms of her flexibility and her joint work. I told you we could tuck her up just ever so slightly in her chest floor, pull her neck out just a little further. There, I'll go ahead and talk the young man second. Comes out of the first class, a really neat looking female, high tying, good in terms of top line, sound and practical as well. Not quite as much body width or stoutness as we see in either of the cattle that come in front, but a nice one as well. My favorite out here would be the young lady with the gray heifer. The reserve is going to be the red heifer up front out of this division. Congratulate them if you would.
The champion American heifer was shown by Lily Vote. That award was donated by Gail and Sandy Harris. The reserve champion heifer, American heifer, was shown by Lily Vote. That award was donated by Brandy Quinn with Phyllis Browning Company. I need Class 3 British heifers. That's Class 3 British heifers. Class 4 exotic heifers, please be getting ready. Class 4 exotic heifers, please be getting ready.
If that young lady there doesn't make you smile, you just don't have a heart. Uh, she's having a good time out here. She's got one that's a little bronky, as with most of these minis. They come with a shot of attitude typically, but I tell you, for the attitude she also has that much quality here in this particular class. This young lady's heifer is very good in terms of her balance. Her structure is good. Her body type is exceptional. They managed to get that much power and punch out of this female in terms of her top line, her hip, and her natural width. And on top of it, then she's still immature in terms of her chest and where she sits. You read her maturity back out through her hip quarter there, and she's maintained the right kind of futurity in terms of her composition. I like those things about her. To the world of cattle, probably could stouten her up just a bit behind her in terms of pin width, but that's a high quality mini here that's got a great look, a very, very good body type in her, and one that's pretty stinking sound out here. Let's congratulate this young lady on her single entry as well.
The champion British heifer was shown by Cole Young. That award was donated by Cody Dutton. Class 4 exotic heifers will now be entering the ring. Class 5 commercial heifers, please be getting ready. That was Class 5 commercial heifers, please be getting ready.
pick on her, I'd say she maybe wants to roll just a nickel right there out the end of her hip or tail head. But that's an awful good looking one. Balances appropriately, very practical, functional, stout down low, nice haired. And she's done a very good job of keeping that one wrangled in just from a composition management standpoint. She's neat right there at the bottom of her chest and still clean and fresh in terms of her neckline. One that I like quite a bit. Let's put our hands together and congratulate her for a very nice female she has here in this class.
The champion exotic heifer was shown by Lily Boat. That award was donated by Russ and Judy Seibert. I need class 5 commercial heifers to the holding area. That was class 5 commercial heifers to the holding area. And class 6 dairy heifers, please be getting ready. Also, quick announcement, by the add-on booth, we are going to have a happy hour. So we're handing out beer over there. So if you get thirsty, walk on over there, tell the girls hi, and they'll hand you a beer.
Young lady brings her commercial heifer in and one that just reeks quality in terms of her look, the way her neck ties and sets. She has a shot of extra length of body and still maintains her top line exceptionally well as we set her in motion. Long hip, square pinned, and one that stands on a real neat foot, good kind of bone that I think just fits into her. She's got some width, and I like that about her. A little more immature in terms of her body depth and one in relation to the world of cattle. She gets forward just a bit in terms of her shoulder angle and her knee, but very, very high quality in terms of the look this female gives. And one that, as I said, she's a handful to handle here, but young lady doing a nice job and has a great single entry here as well. You would put your hands together for this young lady bringing this commercial heifer in the ring.
The champion commercial heifer was shown by Lily Boat. That award was donated by Jonathan Cluck, attorney at law. I need class 6 dairy heifers to the holding area. Oh, class 6 dairy heifers, you'll now be entering the ring. I need all champion and reserve heifers back to the holding area. That was all champion and reserve heifers back to the holding area.
Told me I had a couple dairy heifers in here, and I told them, well, I 50'd every class of dairy heifers I ever judged, and that wasn't many, but pretty confident. Here we have a really nice pair and some differences in the cattle. I choose to use the bigger, older heifer up front. The one for me, I think it's just a bit more unique in terms of her hip structure, a bit better in terms of her functionality as we read her hock and back foot placement as we set them in motion. Angulation on the cattle are both exceptionally good. I'd like to drop the center body and flanking this female up front. And I think there's a little advantage in body type just right in the center of her skeleton with the young lady's heifer that comes second in this class. She too is very angular up front, one that I'd say balances just a shot better. If you step in behind her, you want to see her a bit more functional in where she sets her back feet, her hock placement. Want to just make her a little bigger in terms of pin set comparative to our class winner. But two nice ones. Let's congratulate these young ladies.
The champion dairy heifer was shown by Riley Moyer. That award was donated by Wayne and Mona Zeller. The reserve champion dairy heifer was shown by Sadie Moyer. That award was donated by Bernie Farmhouse. I need all champion and reserve champion heifers to the holding area. That's all champion and reserve heifers to the holding area.
All small in numbers and yet high in quality here. A very attractive set of females that come out of their respective divisions and tons of quality for a very limited number here. I'll talk them briefly, tell you what I see, and then we'll get us a champ and a reserve. Here out of our American division, young man brings heifer in for the lady here with her char, and one that I felt like just about practicality and body type, sure fit the bill just there. Told you we could tuck her chest up, make her a shot longer from the point of her shoulder to her jawline, and change her hump placement ever so slightly. But a very big bodied, stout, dense, practical kind of female, functional in the way she moved around the ring. One that some strength of top line, comparative, and still you have to appreciate her hip structure, her levelness and length of hip from hooks to pins, and the way she sets her back foot down here as she goes around the ring. That's a very high quality Brahman female out of that division. Another very nice one comes here in our mini out of, I'm going to call it the British breed, one that I'm telling you has a lot of good things going for her. That one's sound and she's practical. She's good in terms of her body type. She's very neat in the way she ties her neck. Still very good in terms of her lower chest floor. You get on either end of that one, skeleton. Well, she doesn't disappoint you just from a quality look and build standpoint. She's got a lot of things working for her here and I appreciate when I get to see one that has that much good to her and still has that much look. That's a high quality heifer that comes out of that division. Charlotte heifer that came out of that particular grouping, a single entry, and one that I think is very unique in terms of body type and practicality, and that's still exceptional in terms of her look. Ties her neck good out the top of her shoulder, long hip, square pin kind of a female, and one that's very, very functional and where she sets her feet and legs. As I said, she's maybe not perfect in terms of her reach and length of stride out of her rear too, but her joint angles read very good. She doesn't miss a step in terms of where she sets her pastern and her placement there. I like her softness of her skeleton, her genuine width and mass, combined with still a very, very neat look. We have commercial heifer that's trying to decide where she wants to be here, and one that's exceptionally high quality. Her look is very good. I love her length of neck. A lot of people want to make them short bodied or short backed, if you will. And that one's extra long bodied. And hey, why doesn't it work for her? It works here. She's strong top. She's long hip. She stands on a great big set of feet and legs. She's more immature in terms of her body type comparatively, just from a depth standpoint. She gets her shoulder out just a little forward, and her knee's probably not perfect to the world of cattle, but that one's exceptional. She's high quality. She's awesome in terms of her look, and one that certainly merits talking about. We've got our dairy heifer out here, one that's long and level in her top line, long hipped, good in the way her neck sets in, very angular up front. Told you I would like to change her just in terms of spring to her rib and center of her body. Comparative to the world of those cattle, but another nice representative out here. If you would, congratulate all these exhibitors and all of them that came in the ring here in your heifer show. Put your hands together for them. I'll get you a champion and a reserve.
The grand champion heifer was shown by Lily Vogt. That award was donated by the Hamilton family. The grand champion heifer was shown by Cole Young. That award was donated by Barb and Charlie Herbst.
Well, young lady here in your junior showmanship does a nice job. I think really for her, and she tells me it's her first time in. just a comfort level and kind of knowing where you need to be. I talked to her about that. Just being aware of where you're supposed to be at a given time is really a good thing for her. She's very comfortable with her female. She likes her, and I think she has certainly control of her here as she comes around the ring. If you would, let's congratulate our champion junior exhibitor.
The champion junior showman was Sadie Moyer. That award was donated by Venetian Marble and Granite in memory of Scott Madam. I need all intermediate showmen to the holding area. I need senior showman heifers to be getting ready. That was senior showman heifers. Please be getting ready. I just need all senior showmen to the holding area, all senior showmen to the holding area.
Two senior exhibitors here come in your heifer classes. Your heifer class showing dairy breed and one showing here our Charolais, and so differences in where they need to be and how they actually lead those and set them. That's different things. Talk to the young lady up front first. I think your pace is very good. We need to know exactly where we want you to be here, just in terms of where you get to, and as with all dairy cattle, walking them into place is extremely important. Like to see you just a little more consistent in your step and where we end up with that particular female from a feet and leg placement. But you do a very nice job. You're very comfortable out here. A young lady here that has the Charolais heifer behind has brought a whole slew of them in here today. Some wilder than others, some that don't want to be here, and some that do. I think she's done an exceptional job of just commanding presence in the ring, knowing where she's supposed to be, being comfortable with the ones that she has, and she's stuck with them, and I admire her for that. I think she's better at just getting to her point. I think she's the best we've seen here of the pair, just in terms of feet and leg placement. If you would congratulate them both, young lady here with the char will be your champion.
The champion senior showman was Lily Vogt. That award was donated by H&W Schwab and Sons in memory of Levi and Molly Zeller. The reserve champion senior showman was Riley Moyer. That award was donated by Barb and Charlie Herbst. I need Class 1 Brahman market steers to the holding area. That's Class 1 Brahman market steers to the holding area. Class 2 American steers, please be getting ready. Class 2 American steers, please be getting ready. Attention to the cattle barn. The judge is going to take pictures with the heifers. Once he's done with that, we're going to go ahead and start with Class 1 Brahmins. So that is the judge is taking pictures with the heifers. Once he's done, we're going to start with Class 1 Brahmins. I need class one Brahmin steers to the holding area. That's class one Brahmin steers to the holding area. Class two Americans, please be getting ready. Class two Americans, please be getting ready. Class one Brahmins, you'll now be entering the ring. That's class one Brahmins. You'll be now will be entering the ring. Class two Americans, please be getting ready.
Well, a nice pair of Brahman cattle in this particular class, and I think cattle that are really genuine just in terms of their stoutness at the surface. They're both good in terms of the turn and the rib cage. They both have muscularity and shapely up top. Prefer to use young man's up front just because of his balance and his added shot of flexibility as we read its center and lower skeleton. This calf lays in better at his shoulder angle. He's better set and secure in terms of his knee and his front foot placement. You get on the side of him, he's a shot longer bodied. He's a shot longer fronted, and I think his balance just is a bit neater. I like the fact that his neck comes out a shot higher and just comes a bit longer, blade forward. You set him in motion, and certainly he's the one that's the best in terms of his range of motion out of his rear two. One for me that to pick on him, I'd like him just a bit smoother in terms of where he's at in his cover there at his 12th rib, but very nice when it leads off. And I think his practicality and function at the surface and his balance land him here in the first spot. One it comes into is genuinely bigger back. He's more shapely up top. He's deeper and bolder in his rib cage, and his forerib expands bigger. He's got a notch more side shape as you read his stifle here to the outside curvature of his quarter. Where he's challenged is in terms of his balance up front. I'd like to make him more extended out of his front end, and you watch him move. He's a bit forward and ahead in his blade and knees, a bit more restricted in terms of his stride as we set him in motion. But two nice cattle out here. Congratulate these exhibitors.
Champion Brahmin was shown by Trevor Kruger. That award was donated by Esser Ranch. Reserve Champion was shown by Trevor Kruger, and that award was donated by Autumn Zeller with Texas Farm Bureau. I need Class 2 Americans to the holding area. That's Class 2 Americans to the holding area. I need Class 3 ABCs to please be getting ready. Class 3 ABC, please be getting ready. Class 3 ABCs, please start making your way to the holding area.
Class out here and some obvious differences, real logical and high quality individual here at the front. Young man's black steer is the one that dominates the class in terms of his structural integrity, his balance, his look from the side, just impeccable comparatively. I like his big feet. I like his feature. I like his stoutness, and then extremely attractive out through his front end. Talk about how we change that cattle. We probably open him up in his forehead just a bit in relation to his body weight. If we're talking about getting close to market weight, just want to put a shot more condition on him as you get your hands on him and handle him there blade back. But that one is square built, practical, and still high end in terms of his balance and his look. A young lady's red and white steer that comes into a very sound, practical option. Read that one just in terms of his foot structure, his heaviness of bone work, and stoutness down low. He's got some good things going for him. He's a big barreled calf. He's got some quality in terms of his shape and touch. Here's one for me that just doesn't balance up well enough from the side compared to our class winner. He opens in his shoulder, he drops out behind his blade, just gets a little coarser in his design up front, like the level in there in his top line and out through his hip to make him more competitive to our class winner. But a nice one there, handles good, practical, and very big in terms of his shape and his touch. A better looking option just in terms of elevation up front, in terms of his length of spine and length of front, comes third in class. For me, he's challenged where he sets his knee and his front feet. His hock is obviously a shot course and a little straight. Just want to make that one sounder in terms of how he goes around the ring. Genuinely, his look is good in terms of his neck and his top line, his length of spine, his foot size. We want him to be more functional and practical in terms of his structural integrity. Like to see him with a shot more body. He needs more muscularity comparative to the pair that comes out front, but a nice one there. I commend all these exhibitors for the job they're doing. Let's put our hands together and congratulate them.
The champion American was shown by Trent Burney. That award was donated by Bar Cross Cattle Company. The reserve champion was shown by Jesse Zeller. That award was donated by Bernie Farmhouse. And third place was Susan Harold. I need class 3 ABCs to the holding area. That's class 3 ABCs to the holding area. I need class 4 Herefords. Please be getting ready. That's class 4 Herefords. Please be getting ready.
a young man's black steer leads off this particular pair, and one that I think sets the standard of this pair for just balance in terms of his top line and his levelness of design as we set him in motion better in his forerib and his underline. As you read him from his chest back to his center body and flank, he's a bendy legged kind of a calf. He's sound and practical in terms of where he hits the surface. Here's one that certainly ties bigger there in terms of his ribeye behind his blade and his top. His loin edge is bigger and deeper and fuller. He's fresher to the touch in terms of his handle. He's done an exceptional job of getting this guy fed. His chest is up. He's still really fresh necked, and you put your hands on that one, he won't disappoint you. He spreads big and he's fresh. He's consistent in terms of his handling, his condition, and I like those things about him. His strength of top line, his squareness of hock placement as you get in behind him, his added shot of muscularity, finish, and balance are unparalleled here. Young lady's got a big footed, stout one, big barreled kind of a calf that comes second in this class, and there's some parts and pieces that I can sure get into. I love his depth of body, his depth of center and rib. I like his heaviness of structure. He actually probably sets a little truer in terms of where his knee and front feet hit the surface as we set this guy in motion. I take some issue in terms of his balance right out the backside of his shoulder. Like to level him there. I'd like to just make him more consistent in terms of squareness as he goes directly away from me. I like him square from his stifle joint to his hock and the surface. Like to strengthen his top line just a bit. You put your hands on him, he's a little disappointing. He's got a big old loin in him. He's not as big and open behind his blade. He's not as fresh to the touch. Need to have a little more condition on that guy in relation to his body weight comparative to our class winner. But two nice cattle. If you would congratulate these young people.
The champion ABC was shown by AJ Patton. That award was donated by Jonathan Cluck, attorney at law. The reserve champion was shown by Jesse Zeller. That award was donated by Bar Cross Cattle Company. I need class 4 Herefords to the holding area. That's class 4 Herefords to the holding area. Class 5, please be getting ready. Also, just a reminder, to the right of the add-on box, we're having a happy hour. So if you're looking for a cold beer, make your way over there. That's to the right of the add-on box. Also, all champion and reserve, please make sure you bring your thank you cards back to the announcer stand so we can give you your buckle and your prizes. So that's all champion and reserve. Please bring your thank you letters back to the announcer stand so we can give you your awards.
Well, a nice pair of Herbert marked lightweight kind of cattle that are out here. And young man here with a dark red one has the one that's the most unique just in terms of his look and his balance, his presence. His flexibility is certainly better, and he's more secure to the surface, front and rear, if you will. That is a big-footed, choke-throated one that's got a neat body in him. He's got a really good turn in his top. He's got a big ditch in his back. He's got an added shot of sheer width, front to rear, and I think certainly the bigger hipped, stouter option as he turns and goes straight away from me. It comes apart just a bit, right there behind his blade. He's a shot skinny compared to probably where he needs to be, but that's got high end look and high end pieces out here in this particular class. Sounder and neater balanced option than the 1 and 2. This guy in 2 is taller at the point of his shoulder, and he's a really long hipped kind of a calf. Reads pretty good in terms of his joint angles and back. He's got some foot maintenance we could tend to out here, but along with that, he's got some issue in terms of where he sets his shoulder angle. He's more vertical in his blade. He's obviously forward and out in terms of his knee and his foot placement. I just like to soften his center, soften his joint work. His look is good. He's just a shot skinny as well, but he's more challenged in terms of where we set our feet and legs from a mobility standpoint. Good stock. Congratulate these young people.
In Class 4 Herefords, first was Titus Harold, second was Violet Harold. I need Class 5 Herefords to the holding area. Class 6 Herefords, please be getting ready. That was Class 5 to the holding area. And Class 6, please be getting ready.
Well, contrasting types and kinds, and certainly quality in both the cattle that we have here in the ring. Obviously, differences in where we're at just from presentation and clip job. I tell you what I see though. Young lady that leads off here with the one that's carved in. She's got the one that's sounder in terms of where he sets his back foot. He's more genuine in his hock and his rear foot placement. He's a really neat looking steer that's strong in terms of his top line. He's longer and leveler out of his hip than the 1 and 2, no doubt better in where he sets his pastern and back and just softer, more consistent in his rear step and maintains a leveler look out through his hip as we set him in motion. To the 1 in 2, he gives up some sheer width, gives up some mass and some top shape. And I'd like to see him a shot punchier just right there behind his blade in terms of his ribeye and his surface there across his top and his loin. We could have him just a shot wider and a bit bolder there in his forerib. And I think that's where the advantage comes to the 1 and 2. He's more genuine in terms of his spring to his rib. His curvature in the center of his body is better. He's more shapely up top. When you set him in motion or even stop him here on the stand, he wants to shorten and round up out of his hip. He drops his pin set. Obviously, he's not as comfy in terms of where we set our rear two down at the surface. Doesn't bother me that he's not clipped. I prefer him in the front half of his body. I just want to change him in where he sets his hip, his tail head, his pin set, and his back leg. Good quality stock out here. Let's congratulate these two young ladies.
In Class 5, first was Presley Sign Sticker, second was Lily Vote. I need Class 6 Herefords to the holding area. All first and second Herefords, please don't go far. All first and second Herefords, please don't go too far.
A really good one here comes in this heavyweight class. Single entry deal and one that is very impressive to me in terms of his foot size, his stoutness, his flexibility, and then he's got the right kind of turn into his forerib and his upper cage. His shape is awful good up top. He's big ended in terms of his pin set. His lower quarters good. I love the practicality in that steer, and then I like the fact that he's smooth. He handles very fresh. He's consistent in terms of his composition. He's just about perfect where he needs to be. We'll get out of the way that he's got just a little bit of skin hanging there off his brisket. Doesn't bother me a bit. I'd like to freshen his flank and put a shot more fill in that guy, but very wolfy in terms of his stoutness, his balance, his muscularity, all very good things here. Young lady, you've got a nice one. Let's put our hands together and congratulate her in this particular class.
In Class 6, first was Pepper Pressler. I need all first and second place Herefords to the holding area. All first and second place Herefords to the holding area. I need Class 7 Angus. Please be getting ready. That's Class 7 Angus. Please be getting ready.
If you would put your hands together here for your Hereford exhibitors. Young man up front brought one out of that class. That's got some big ring pieces, unique in terms of his look and his neck carriage, exceptionally big footed, stout in terms of his hip and pin set. And I said he has big pieces, but with that, he comes just a shot piecey in terms of where the point of his shoulder blends to his forearm, his top line out the back of his blade. Some of those things just don't blend quite as smoothly as we'd like to see, but one there comes out of that class. It's got a lot of quality. It's got a lot of look, got great big feature, big hip and pin set. I like those things about that one. Young lady here out of our second class, just high quality in terms of our look and our balance. Very flexible. Structural integrity is awful good in that one. Not as dense, is what I'd say in terms of his body and his muscularity to those on either end of him, but one that's very high quality in his look. His neck is good. His top line's impeccable. Underline is awful good. I like the balance in that guy. I love the flexibility. And she's got him finished pretty appropriately out here. heavyweight steer, very, very powerful kind of a calf, still very attractive in terms of how his neck comes out the top of his blade. Shoulder lays in smooth, great big feet and legs and feature and very shapely. Love the handle and touch of this guy. She's got him finished just right in relation to where he sets from a maturity and body weight standpoint. Has a pinch of chest in him. We could tuck that up. Good fresh in his center just in terms of his lower underline, give him a shot more fill out here, but that one's very high quality. Put a second out of that one class. Kev, I told you was tall shouldered, long spine, neat neck. Just gets too rigid in terms of his structure up front, the way he sets his feet, legs, and knee. But good stock out here. Very good lineup from a very small number of cattle. Uh, Help me congratulate young lady with the heavyweight. She's got our champ. Middleweight's going to be reserved. Let's congratulate her as well.
The champion Hereford was shown by Prepper Pressler. That award was donated by Ronnie and Karen Schneider in memory of Alan and Vera Hag. The reserve champion was shown by Presley Seidensticker. That award was also donated by Ron and Karen Schneider in memory of Alan and Vera Hag. I need Class 7 Angus to the holding area. I need Class 8 Angus. Please be getting ready. That's Class 7 Angus to the holding area, and Class 8, please be getting ready.
Well, we've got training day out here with this particular calf, and young ladies struggled through it, done a nice job. Black steer here has got some top shape in him. He's got some density in terms of his hip as you step in behind him. Needs to be sounder at both ends of his skeleton to be more ideal. Wants to get up and down in terms of his structure at both ends. Neat in terms of his look up front. Powerful kind of a calf. Looks to be finished appropriately. He's just got to be better in terms of his lower skeleton structure. Let's put our hands together and congratulate her.
In class 7, first was Anna Inns. I need class 8 Angus to the holding area. Class 9 Shorthorns, please be getting ready. That's class 8 to the holding area and class 9 Shorthorns, please be getting ready.
Well, a logical place to start up here with the young lady's calf in this particular class. And as it is, these will be your breed and reserve breed, I think, is how we have that. That's right. Two classes of these Angus, or we have it. That's right. A young lady here brings the highest quality calf to us out of the breed. He's the soundest, the most practical in his feet and leg posture. He's the best in terms of his body type. He's soft and fresh. He's the most opened up one from a shape standpoint. Get on top of him or read him from behind. He's the one that's the biggest down his back, the smoothest in terms of his handle, the highest quality just in terms of his balance, his look, his freshness, and his structural integrity. Young man's it comes to, you got one, son, that's a little longer bodied, longer spined, if you will. One that I appreciate for that. He doesn't balance as well as our class winner up front. He's not as neat in the lower part of his chest or his neck set. Not as good in terms of his body type and his shape of his body, curvature of his rib or his muscularity. I like his added length of body and length of hip that we see. We set him in motion. He's got to be more flexible. He needs to be more limber out of his shoulder and knee. Needs to be more flexible out of his hock and pastern as well. Nice stock out here. Let's congratulate him.
The champion Angus was shown by Paris Seidensticker. That award was donated by Johnny Lozano. The reserve champion was shown by Owen Inns. That award was donated by Johnny Lozano. I need class 9 shorthorns to the holding area. That was class 9 shorthorns to the holding area. Class 10 Black Cross, please be getting ready. Class 10 Black Cross, please be getting ready. Class 10, Black Cross, please start making your way to the holding area. Class 10, Black Cross, please start making your way to the holding area.
Two good steers here in contrasting types and kinds, and 300 plus pounds of difference, I'm guessing, in the pair. And still, I think both very good quality cattle that come here. The one that suits me the best, the young man's up front, and the one that I think is the most genuine in terms of his structure, his joint angles, his softness of skeleton, his ability to reach and go out of his rear two and still maintain a leveler look out of his hip. That's a big difference for me. If you want to call him loose or a little saggy behind his blade, he comes together as we set him in motion. He's not truly comfortable. Neither of these cattle are real comfortable out here, but that's the one that suits me the best in the way he swivels and hinges. He's the one that's the best in the way he lays his shoulder angle in. He's the most set back and comfortable in his knee. He's the soundest, the softest in his skeleton. When you put your hands on him, be real honest with you, he is more dimensional just in terms of his shape at the top side of his skeleton. I'd like to elevate him at the top of his shoulder. And I think that's where the significant advantage there lies in two, if you want to talk about that. I like the calf in two in terms of his elevation up top. I like the fact that he's taller at the point at the top of his blade. I like his big old center in him. He springs big right there behind his shoulder. He's got a ton of muscle shape in him. As we set him in motion, watch him in terms of his back feet, his hock placement, not as good, not as true in terms of where he hits the surface, not as soft in his lower pastern work. For me, he gets up in his loin a bit, and you've done everything you can to get that where it needs to be, but he rounds more out of his hip and just doesn't handle his rear two as good as the one up front. Two very nice cattle. That's a very good pair of cattle out here in this particular breed. If you would, congratulate these young people.
The champion Shorthorn was shown by Cole Young. That award was donated by Barb and Charlie Herbst. The reserve champion was shown by Lily Vogt, and that award was donated by Autumn Zeller with Texas Farm Bureau. I need Class 10 Black Cross to the holding area. I need Class 11 Black Cross to be getting ready and start making your way to the holding area. That's Class 11. Start making your way to the holding area.
Well, a nice place to start in this lightweight class of your black crosses. I think the young man has a logical class winner here. The one that comes to the surface, the soundest, the best balanced in terms of his body, and the most muscular out here. To say he's perfect in regards to all those things, I'd say no, but he is by combination the one that suits me the best. I like his body type, I like his natural width. He's sounder than the 1 and 2. He's neater balanced than the 1 and 3. And I think he just by combination lands here. What do we need to change? Need to elevate him a shot behind his shoulder. We could tuck his chest up into him. He gets a shot more mature out of his neck and head. We could neaten him up there just in terms of his lower chest and lower neck, but a good place to be. The young man comes in too with the baldy calf, very neat looking, elevated, long spined kind of a calf. He balances up okay. He needs more guts. He needs more body in him. He needs to be sounder at both ends of his skeleton. We could do that. We could challenge our class winner up here. The one that comes three in class, bigger bodied than the 1 and 2, and a shot sounder than the 1 and 2, gives up some sheer shape and cutability up top in terms of when you put your hands on him and touch him there back. He's not as level hip. Gets a bit rounder at both ends of his skeleton. Just want to make that one more attractive and more shapely compared to the two that come up front. Nice stock out here. Congratulate the young people.
In class 10, first was Maximus Harrell. Second was Jaden Steinstiger. Third was Natalie Inns. Class 11 Black Cross will now be entering the ring. That's Class 11 Black Cross will now be entering the ring. First and second from Class 10, please don't go too far. We will need you back for the selection of the champion and reserve. That's Class 10, first and seconds. Please stay in the holding area. Class 12 Red Crosses, please be getting ready. Class 12 Red Cross, please be getting ready.
Real obvious place to start here in my mind up front. Young man bringing one in that's exceptionally sound and dense and stout, good bodied, moves very, very square at both ends of his skeleton. I like that one in terms of his touch and handle. He's fresh, compositionally very correct in relation to his weight, his maturity. One that comes out, just commands your attention here in the ring, and then add up the good. Boy, there's lots of it in that particular calf. I like that one quite a bit. When it comes to in class, young lady's got a really big bodied, kind of an old calf. He's been an easy feeder. He's done well. He's not as dense down low in terms of his foot size or his bone work. Doesn't balance as good as our class winner. Need to tuck him up in his chest and just clean him up a bit everywhere. I'd call him a little overcooked in relation to his body weight, framework, and maturity. Probably need to lean that guy up just a bit. Needs to be a bit sounder in terms of his movement, mobility out here, but a nice one as well. Let's congratulate these young people.
In class 11, first was Trent Burney, second was Lillian Wetmore. I need all first and second black crosses to the holding area. That's all first and second black cross to the holding area. Class 12 red cross, please be getting ready. That's class 12 red cross, please be getting ready. Also, just a reminder, all champion and reserve champions, please bring your thank you cards back to the announcer stand so we can give you your awards. That's all champion and reserve champions. Please bring your thank you cards back to the announcer stand.
Well, a nice set of black crosses back out here. Your class winners in seconds. Young man here out of the lightweight class had one that's really practical and functional. Pull him up a step, son. Pull him up a step. Really practical and functional. One more step in terms of his structural integrity and his body type. His muscularity is good. He's got a lot of good things working for him just from a practicality and functional standpoint. Here's one that could be a notch neater just in terms of his look and his balance, but big bodied, stout down low, good shape, and just a good feeding kind of a calf. The one that comes out of that heavy class, that's a good calf in terms of fat sear look and build and presence. He's here. He's ready to roll. And you start talking about freshness and condition there over his rib cage. He's really square-ended, very, very good in terms of his mobility and squareness. Still balances up exceptionally good. Had a couple of seconds there. The baldy calf, young man has a really neat neck carriage, long spine, flat back, little hard in his center, a little hard to the surface. And just talked the young lady's calf there that was second in the heavies. One that's got a big old center in him. Just gets a bit farther along in terms of condition and composition. Need to lean that guy up and make him a bit neater balanced out here. Young man here out of our heavies with the black and white one. He's got our champion young man there with our class winner out of the lightweights as reserve.
The champion black cross was shown by Trent Burney. That award was donated by Bobcat of San Antonio. The reserve champion was shown by Maximus Harrell. That award was donated by Christopher and Tiffany Pressler. Class 12 red crosses, please be in the holding area. And class 13 red cross, please be making your way to the holding area. That's class 12 in the holding area. Class 13, please be making your way.
A really neat class winner the young lady brings us here at the start of this Red Cross breed. One that is really good in terms of his look and his balance from the side. He's tall shouldered. He's good where his neck sets and comes out. He's got a really good turn to his cage. Get your hands on that guy, and he doesn't disappoint you from a shape standpoint. Big-footed, practical in terms of his width of skeleton coming and going is awful good. He sets down soft in back. I'd like to change his hawk angle ever so slightly and just give him just a notch more set there. But that's picking on one that's really good. His range of motion is very good. His balance is good. Boy, he looks really neat. He's got plenty of punch and power here in this particular grouping. Young man that comes second, he's got one that has done a good job of getting him fed. He's pretty good in terms of his touch and his handle. His freshness is good. He's run up it with a buzzsaw here in our class winner. This steer that's second's a little up and down in terms of his shoulder angle, his knee. We want to see him just go and be a little softer down low. He's got to be stouter at the surface, more shapely, more dimensional, and neater balance comparative to our class winner to move up. Good stock out here, exceptional class winner. Let's congratulate these kids.
In class 12, first was Alexa Sakula, second was Case Patton. I need class 13 Red Cross to the holding area. I also need class 14 AOCs to please be getting ready. That's class 14 AOCs, please be getting ready.
Well, a really stout featured one comes in, one that's big footed and practical in terms of his soundness, one that's got some shape up top when you get your hands on it, finished pretty appropriately. In the world of cattle, I like to change his bottom jaw. I'd like to change his head and his skull a bit, make him a shot more immature, give him a notch more rib cage just in terms of body depth and spring to his rib comparative to the world of cattle. But a really big footed, stout one that's sound and finished pretty appropriately. Let's put our hands together for this young man.
In class 13, first was Kagan Stewart. I need all first and second Red Cross to the holding area. That's all first and second Red Cross to the holding area. Class 14 AOC, please start making your way to the holding area. Class 15 AOC, please be getting ready. That's class 14, please start making your way to the holding area. And class 15, please start getting ready. All breed champions, start making your way to the holding area. All reserves, please be on standby. After the selection of the champion and reserve AOC, we're going to roll right into the grand drive. So all champion breeds, please make your way to the holding area. All reserves, please be on standby.
Well, here out of our first class, we had a really good class winner just from a look and balance standpoint. One that I really like, his rib cage, his shape. He just balances up so good, fits together so good, in my opinion. I like his top line, his length of hip, his underline is good. Neck jumps right out the top of his blade and still very practical and functional, high end in terms of his look and very, very square as you get right in behind him. Told you in the world of cattle, we probably want to change his hock ever so slightly, but it's hard to pick on one has that kind of range of motion. They're out of our heavyweight class, big footed, stout, burly critter, one that's got some shape, is fed pretty well. Not as attractive as I'd want to see him right there in his skull shape and his lower jaw, but one that's got some good and has done a nice job of feeding. He's got a ton of shape and power as well. Probably needs a different class for this one. It was second out of our lightweights. Looks to me like he might be a red British, and I think that changes quite a bit. But that's a high quality steer as well. He's got good balance. His neck set's good. His body shape is good. Not as stout or as dense down low, but like I said, I think we're not really comparing apples to apples here with the pair up front. That one it was second, but good stock out here. Young lady with our lightweight has our champ. Young man with our heavyweight has our reserve.
The champion Red Cross was shown by Alexa Sakula. That award was donated by Bobcat of San Antonio. The reserve champion was shown by Kagan Stewart. That award was donated by Christopher and Tiffany Pressler. Class 14 AOC, please be in the holding area. Class 15 AOC, please start making your way to the holding area. Class 15 AOCs, you need to be in the holding area. That's class 15 AOC, you need to be in the holding area. All breed champions, please start making your way to the holding area. All breed champions, please start making your way to the holding area. And reserves, please be on standby.
yellow and white one leads off this class here, and I think logic sorts into the front just in terms of his body type and muscularity and balance, carcass merit. All those things lie in favor with the one up front. He's got great big feet. He's got a big center in him. He's got a really big back, and he looks a little overcooked just on the outset. But when you get your hands on him, he's pretty close in terms of composition where he needs to be. Now, I take some issue. I want to make him a bit bigger in type and kind. He's a little shorter cannon than what I'd call ideal. Here's one that's shoulder and knee probably don't hit the surface just how we want to see everything work up front. Like to clean his sheath up just a bit, but that's a really nice steer here in this particular grouping. When it comes to in class, young lady has a calf that's fed pretty well, pretty sound from the side, not wide enough or stout enough or square enough, doesn't have enough cage and shape comparative uh, out here in this particular class, but a nice one as well. Let's put our hands together for these exhibitors.
In class 14, first was Cole Young, second was Claire Wetmore. I need class 15 AOCs to the holding area. All breed champions, please start making your way to the holding area. All reserves, please be on standby. All breed champions, we need you in the holding area. All breed champions, we need you in the holding area. Reserves, please be on standby.
Well, different kinds of cattle here in 1 and 2, and both really good in their own right. Opt to use the young lady's white steer up front, comes truer right out the front of his skeleton in terms of chest width and squareness from his blade to his knee and the surface. He's a bit wider there in terms of his body dimension, right from the point of his shoulder into his forerib. A little more moderate in his outline, not as wild necked as the 1 and 2, and frankly, not as hard muscled as the calf in 2. And I think there's some differences. I don't think that's a real easy decision, in my opinion, here in this particular grouping. Those are different kind of cattle. And I've always said they don't have to look the same to be good. These don't look the same, and they're both really good. Harder shape and harder touching comes with the 1 and 2. He's not as wide in terms of his skeletal width coming or going, not quite as square in his knee and front foot placement, but wilder, where his neck comes out of his blade, stronger behind his shoulder, and a little harder shape in that calf. And I appreciate both those cattle, even though they don't look the same. I'd like to change one thing I like to change about this, and I'd like to change the way he spreads his toes on this outside foot and back. Coming to me, I like toe spread as much as anybody. It's just a little weird in how it looks out here, but that's two really good cattle there up front. Taking nothing away from the young man in 3, he ran into a very good class here. He's got a practical, good feeding kind of a calf. He's got some shape. He's big bodied. He's pretty sound. He's not near dense enough at the surface. Doesn't balance well enough. Not nearly as square as he'd have to be going away from me in terms of his hip squareness, a hock or back foot placement. But very good cattle out here. Congratulate these young people if you would.
In class 15, first was Pepper Pressler, second was Cadence Staling, third was Luke Patton. I need all first and second AOC to the holding area, all first and second AOC to the holding area. After the selection of the champion and reserve AOC, we're going to roll right into the grand drive. So I need all breed champions to the holding area and reserves to be on standby. Once again, after the selection of the champion and reserve AOC, we're going to roll right into the grand drive. So I need all breed champions to the holding area.
We bring these AOCs back out. Young man here out of our lightweight class had a really stout one, one really dense down low at the surface, big shape up high. Comparatively, he gets out in the point of his shoulder and wants to twist and roll just a bit up front, but that one's pretty practical in his body type. I love his stoutness and density. Gets a little more mature where his skull sets in relation to framework. I told you genuinely I like to just see him a shot bigger in type and kind, but a very good one there. Just talked a pair out of the heavies, young lady's white steer, bold and stout, very, very square, still attractive in terms of his look up front, and then a very wild looking one here that's extremely hard in terms of his back shape, his crispness of touch. Not quite as good right there in his where he sets his knee or his front feet coming directly to me, but a very nice pair of cattle come out of that class. Good stock out here. The trio is very good. They're all a little bit different. Young lady with the heavy has our champ. Young lady that was second heavy has our reserve. Congratulate them.
The champion AOC was shown by Pepper Pressler. That award was donated by Hoffler Fertilizer and Ag Products. The reserve champion was shown by Cadence Staling. That award was donated by Christopher and Tiffany Pressler. I need all breed champions to the holding area. That's all breed champions to the holding area. Reserves, please be on standby.
Well, first and foremost, let me commend you, young people, that showed today in this particular ring. Heifers or steers, each and every one of you. I appreciate the effort that you put in when you came out here. If you're ringside, let's put our hands together for all the exhibitors that showed today in this particular show. I get asked on a regular basis, hey, what's the most important show, or maybe the most uh, uh, influential show that you've ever been a part of or been able to judge? And I'll tell you factually, it happens to be the show I'm looking at today. Okay, everything that I've ever done in the past is just that old history in the past, and what I'm doing today is real time present right here, right now. And there's no show, in my opinion, more important than the one I'm looking at today, than the cattle I've got to evaluate, than the young people I've got to work with today. I tried to personalize myself with each one of these kiddos that come through the ring today, and tip my hat to them and give them their best, because no matter if they won their class or won their breed, or they're out here, or they're in the back, they all have real value. And I appreciate that with these young people. I appreciate what these kids are doing, and I really appreciate what you're doing collectively as a group of supporters ringside. We're raising young people with cattle as it is today in this particular ring, heifers or steers, and that's an awesome thing to do, and a great way to raise our future. Reality is, this is our future. And I'm not talking about the cattle, I'm talking about the kids. And we better hope and pray that what happens in our country happens on the backs of the young people that are raising livestock and are grown up in this setting, because they're going to be more responsible. They're going to be higher quality, and they're going to do a better job. We better hope they come from the grassroots of America and the rural communities. And I know we don't all have the same background, but we can all have the same logic when it comes to that. We're raising kids, and I really appreciate what you're doing. As far as my invite, I was looking forward to it. I appreciate the invite to come, and you don't have to see cattle the way I see them. I see them the way I like them. I try to make them as functional as we can. I try to make them as stout and wide and burly as we can make them, and keep them balanced, make them look good. And I'm comfortable with the set we have out here. It's actually turned into a pretty good steer show when you drag these out, just start talking about comment on the front end of the cattle that you brought to the ring today. These are very, very good cattle, and I like them quite a bit. I'll comment just about each one of them, and then we'll get you a champ and get a reserve back in, and then pick a reserve. We started out here with our Brahmins. That young man has a very nice steer. He balances good. His body's good. His feet are big. He's got a nice, attractive look to him. He's got some shape. He touches good. He's done a great job of getting that one presented and fed. I don't even know what we called these, but I'm going to call him the Black American here out of that second breed. That is high end stock. Folks, that thing is high end looking. He balances good. He's flexible. He's stout low. He's shapely up high. He's not really ready to go compared to some of these, but in relation to his body weight, his maturity is pretty spot on. That's a very good calf. Young man here between me and the announcer stand, boy, he's got one there that's very, very practical. Bendy back leg, stout to the surface, good body in that one, really square coming and going, nice shape up top. Hard to pick a hole in him from a practicality standpoint. Not quite as wild looking, as big hipped or as stout as some of them out here, but that's a nice calf. Came out of that breed. You done a good job of getting that one fed. Hereford steer, big, huge feet, very, very shapely. The longer we go, the drier his body gets. Just need to freshen his center up a bit. That one's got some future to him. I like that calf. We had an Angus calf, and the most practical, highest quality, best shaped one that we had, and also the sound. This young lady's done a good job there with that one. Black Cross had come out. Folks, that's a good calf. That thing is sound. He's square. He's big backed. He's fresh. He's got a big old deep bold rib in him, and he's still got a nice neck. Very, very attractive kind of cattle there comes out of that particular breed. That red one is extra wild looking. Boy, his neck shoots out the top of his blade. He's just a freak show up front in terms of how his neck ties into his shoulder. He's got some shape as well. He's got a big old hip and caboose in him, big feet and feature. I picked on his hock just as coach, and I'll just tell you, I want to change his hock ever so slightly, the way he swivels and swings there. We had Shorthorn, I think is what that one came out of. More moderate kind of a steer, big, huge groove in his back, great big feet and legs. He knows he sags just a little in his top line. He works his underline to do that. And I appreciate the effort and the showmanship that young man's put into those cattle today. And then we've got an AOC here, big and stout and wide, burly, big, big body type and cage, lots of shape. Uh, in relation to some out here, he's a little lower set right there at the top of his shoulder and his neck. Probably not quite as wild looking as a few, but very high quality, super stout down low, and still fat steer in terms of his touch and his muscularity. Good stock. So I like the cattle. I think you've done a great job with them. I think there's one that, for me, combines soundness, balance, mass, squareness, uh, to the highest degree, and then still has show ring presence and look. If you would, once again, for the kids here with your breeds and reserves out back, put your hands together. I'll get you a champ.
The grand champion steer was shown by Trent Burney. That award was donated in memory of Harold Zeller. Also, following the grand drive, we're going to have showmanship. We're going to start with junior, that's elementary, intermediate, that's middle school, and senior, that's high school. So, following the grand drive, we're going to have showmanship. We're going to start with junior, and that's elementary. So, please start making your way to the holding area.
Real functional calf came out of that reserve black division. Calf, it's big bellied, practical, sound down low. Just good feeding kind of stock there. Told you need to be a shot neater in terms of his look. He still does. For me, there was another one I thought that was just by combinations, the kind I like, the size I like, and really combines all those things just maybe to a little higher degree. Let's put our hands together. Congratulate the young lady. She's got your reserve.
The reserve grand champion steer was shown by Pepper Pressler. That award was donated by Joanne, Catherine, and Ashley Bradley in memory of Scott Bradley. I need all junior showmen to the holding area. I need all junior showmen to the holding area. Intermediate showmen, please be getting ready. Just a reminder, all breed champion and reserves, please bring your thank you card back to the announcer stand so we can give you your award. That was all breed champion and reserves. Please bring your thank you card back to the announcer stand so we can give you your awards. The judge is going to take some quick pictures. Once he's done, we're going to go into showmanship. So, um, junior showman, please be getting ready. I need all junior showmen to the holding area. That's all junior showmen to the holding area. Intermediate, start making your way to the holding area. I need all second through fifth graders to the holding area for junior showmanship. That's all second and fifth graders to the holding area for junior showmanship.
We need any second, third, fourth, or fifth grader that wants to show for showmanship to come to the holding area now. Second through fifth grade, anyone wants to show for showmanship, come up to the front now.
I need all intermediate showmen to the holding area. That's going to be sixth through eighth grade. That's all intermediate showmen to the holding area. That's sixth through eighth grade.
6th, 7th, and 8th grade. If you're going to show showmanship, we need you up to the front now. 6th, 7th, and 8th graders. If you want to show showmanship, come to the front now.
Well, two juniors come back here in showmanship, and I commend both of them for doing that. We've got some differences just in terms of ring awareness, presence, and I think feet and leg placement is critical here in this particular grouping. Both of them doing a nice job. Let's congratulate the young man. He'll be your champion out of this group.
The champion junior showman was Kagan Stewart. That award was donated by Morrison Family Ranch. The reserve champion showman was Violet Harold, and that award was donated by Autumn Zeller with Texas Farm Bureau. I need all intermediate showmen in the holding area. That's all intermediate showmen in the holding area. That's 6th through 8th grade. Senior showmen, please start getting ready.
Middle school, 6th, 7th, and 8th grade. We need you up here now. High school, 9th, 10th, 11th, 12th. We need y'all up here for showmanship. Anybody in high school who wants to do showmanship, you need to come to the holding area now. Senior showman, if you're in high school, we need you to the holding area.
Well, I told each one of these young people here in this intermediate group things I like that they do and things that I thought they need to change here as we get back out. Ultimately, for me, showmanship is who I'm the most confident in taking steer into the ring for my kid. If my kid personally couldn't do that, I feel like there's one that's showing a relatively a gentle steer, but one that's difficult to make look right. And I think she's just done a most consistent job among the group in terms of knowing what she needs to fix and where she needs to be and how we need to get them into place. A young lady up here up front with our white cap will be your champion.
The champion intermediate showman was shown by Pepper Pressler. That award was donated by Blake Glover with Glover Project Management.
Reserve's going to be that young man with that baldy steering green right there. He run a close race out here, and I appreciate his efforts as well. Nice job, kids.
The reserve champion intermediate showman was Jaden Sidesticker. That award was donated by Reagan Harris, given by Triple H2O. We need all senior showmen to the holding area. Let's all senior showmen to the holding area.
All right, senior showman, let's go.
Well, an exceptional set of showmen come back here, and I'm sure you have your favorites. I would say that the bulk of the real high quality showmen, outside of probably one of this older grouping, is back in the ring. So that makes it extremely competitive. I think you have to be spot on with feet and leg placement in this group. You have to be spot on with uh, where we stand, where we park them, and how we maintain our look and our basically the pressure that they put up into themselves. And as I've said, it's not all easy to do. I think amongst this group, there is an exceptional set here, and I commend you for that. With that being said, there's one that I feel like is just the most consistent in terms of body posture, position, pace, feet and leg placement. And then I think there's another one that's just really close to me, albeit not showing one that's just that easy to show. But if you would congratulate with me the young man up front. He'll be your champion showman here out of this particular group. And the young man here that has the red paint will be reserved. Put your hands together for him as well.
The champion senior showman was Trent Burney. That award was donated by Reed and Emily Schneider. The reserve champion was shown by Cole Young. That award was also donated by Reed and Emily Schneider. Also, reminder all champion and breed champions, please bring your thank you cards back to the announcer stand so we can give you your awards. That was all champion and breed champions. Please bring your thank you cards back to the announcer stand so we can give you your awards.